It's hard to believe that it's already the end of July, almost the beginning of August of 2021, as I sit here and plan to do this video. Just wanted to continue the conversations that I've been posting on my website about psychic development. And I actually realized in thinking about the other videos that I did that I really need to backtrack a little bit. And again, I'm very clear about the fact that what I'm going to be talking about is in the book that I wrote almost 20 years ago called The Secret Key. It is available on Amazon. Don't buy it on Amazon. It will cost you too much money. Send me an email. And I think right now on Amazon, for some reason, they've got it priced at like 30 bucks. It's so, and from me, it's like 10 bucks plus postage. So one of the things that I talk about in that book is the need for anyone who is developing their psychic ability to be able to concentrate. And we live in a world where it's incredibly difficult and challenging for any of us to be able to really withdraw from all of the stimulation that we experience in our world. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's somebody doing a leaf blower and the fan's on above me and, you know, my emails and, you know, I've got my phones. So we live in an incredible world of distraction. But in the book, one of the things that I talk about is an old technique that's been around forever, even longer than me. And what the technique involves is a practice of developing concentration using a candle. It's very simple. You get a candle, should be a white candle, preferably, and you light the candle and you focus your concentration on the flame of the candle. I've used this technique for a long time in the groups that I've run and the tours that I've done in people looking to develop the psychic part of who they are, because if you try this technique, what you will find is almost immediately after using the technique for even one try, that your concentration will have increased fairly dramatically, I'd say. So I think it's really important. It's an important step. So I've been thinking about that recently, probably as much about the psychic development suggestions I'm putting on my website as much as just the massive confusion that I've got in my own world, just like everybody else, the internet, and I've got 2 computers and an iPad and a telephone. And so, you know, there's literally distraction coming at me from, you know, so many different angles that I've just become very aware of that challenge, the difficulty in concentrating and focusing. So that's one piece of information that I'd like to share today. So concentration. The other thing is the importance of meditation. And I go into, I have a chapter in The Secret Key about meditation and meditation technique that's different than other meditation techniques, because it's not giving a technique, it's talking about what it is to be human, to try to develop a meditation practice. You know, I talk about the fact that I've been meditating since my mid-30s. I remember a man who I truly respected in the world as a mystic saying that it took him about 9 years to get to the place that he was satisfied with his meditation technique. So in the book, I'm not talking about a meditation technique. I'm talking about the challenges of just getting to the place of meditating. And so there's some steps that I include in there, one being, you know, really to develop a habit. So it's about setting a time, trying to show up at that time every day at the same time. That's how I started. Some days I would get there and I would be kind of successful and then not so successful, but I would not allow myself to leave the chair that I was meditating in until at least 30 minutes had passed. And anybody who knows me would tell you that it's really hard for me to sit still. So that was a monumental accomplishment of my life. The next, and if you have any questions about this, you know, please feel free to email me. The other piece that really, you know, becomes important in terms of developing any kind of spiritual progress, I think, is not even an overstating the case, is the need to ultimately get the body under control. we live in such a tension-filled world. I tell the story about when we left New York and moved to Arizona. I literally think it took me about 6 months to rest up. I had no idea I was as tired as I was until we, sort of had our life slow down as we moved there. Mike and I both really, went from a fast-paced metropolitan New York City to here we are, out in the desert, kind of not much to do, not many places to go. Well, one of the things that I heartily recommend is that there are a whole slew of meditation techniques. But one of the more important steps, and I don't even remember how this happened. I think, I don't want to sound like I'm, some unusual person, which I'm not, but somehow I started my whole meditation practice with relaxation. There were tapes of relaxation, that was like, count, almost like, I think some of them in the beginning were self-hypnosis techniques. I'm not so wild about those, but I sure do like the sort of guided visualizations that are available now. You can get them in audio formats, you can get CDs, and they give you the opportunity to really learn the first step, which is how do I relax, to then begin to even start to meditate. So there's a couple of tips for you today at the end of the month of July in 2021. Hope wherever you are in the world that you're having a wonderful day today.